we're here. And we have to acknowledge we do have some new listeners who have come along courtesy of a shout out we got from...
How did this get made? That's how the jingle goes.
That's good. They very generously just noticed that we were doing it. And so
Paul Scheer mentioned us. That's the biggest deal.
That was big for me.
Huge.
That was very
huge for me also.
Exciting and satisfying moment.
If I had won a Google Run competition for podcasts where it was like you got a $10,000 first place prize, and we won that, I would still be more stoked with the shout out from Paul Scheer.
There's a look of earnest. There's an earnest look in your eyes, Tim, and I can really appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm just saying thanks for and everyone on how
it means a lot. It means about $10,000 to us. You pretty much
at least at
which
at a minimum,
which is insane.
Well, it sounds insane. It's a lot of money. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Anyway, so here we are. We've just watched the movie for the. So thanks and welcome. Obviously, a lot of you are American, which I'm very excited about. We can see where you're from on the stats, and there's a lot of Americans coming in, getting on board.
We're like the GCSB of our own podcast. There's someone at the door. What are you looking at?
I'm just looking around the room.
Okay.
It's a good room. We're in Tim's lounge. He's got a lot of cool stuff going on. There's a picture of Tim. There's two pictures of Tim in his own lounge. There's one of him looking down on...
That's absolutely true. That's the weird thing.
Like a really nice headshot of Tim looking down on everyone saying, what is that? Saying that speech bubble?
Voting is sexy.
Voting is sexy. And it's above the fireplace. It's got like prime position. That's where you'd put the best painting you have. And you guys have just got a picture of you. Timbat propaganda.
It is very propaganda-esque, eh? It's like a Kim Jong-il shot. I went out shopping one day to the supermarket and came back, and they were all worshipping the fireplace. And I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Your flatmates were worshipping the fireplace?
Yeah, they were worshipping the fireplace on their hands and knees. And so I came and started worshipping with them. And then I think Nick poked me and he goes, no, you don't understand. And pointed up, and I looked up, and that fucking picture of me was nailed to the wall.
It's quite confronting.
Shit, yeah. I had no idea.
And what happened next?
Then I got real scared because the landlord probably doesn't want us putting nails in the wall.
Yeah, but when the landlord sees the picture, they'll probably understand what's going on here. They'll know who's in charge now.
He came around. He saw it, but he may have just like glossed over it because I don't know if he was paying too much attention to the fact it's nails.
He was probably intimidated by it, if you ask me. He probably took one look at it and then quickly turned his head because he didn't want any more details.
The funny thing is,
he only saw it so quickly he completely missed it.
I was the only guy in the house. I saw it through, so maybe you're right. He saw it. He was like, "Wait a minute, is that the guy that just opened the? Is that you? Oh my god, you're the guy!" And then freaked out. He doesn't want to take on the Führer.
He's like, do you just put these up when the flatmates go out, and then when they come back, you put the normal pictures back up, do you?
Nope.
This is what you do when it's just you at home. You just put some pictures up of yourself, walk around the place, positive affirmations. You can do it, Tim. Go get him, Tiger. And 5 o'clock rolls around, you take the posters back down.
It's all gotten very weird. That one I think I was going to burn.
That's a good one.
In the fire pile. Or in the recycle. It was somewhere. I threw it out and the flatmates found it and then came back that one up.
It's like you're respawning. For everything you try and throw away to come back.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've watched the movie. Grown Up Suit, it's a great movie. I've compiled a list of things I thought during the movie.
So we need to explain.
You can explain that, Tim.
That guy's been taking notes through the entire movie because the last couple we've been a bit hazy about that. And he's been sure to include a very large level of detail, and it's laid out on his MacBook here.
Can I before you lay it to waste? Can I please explain at least what I was trying to capture with this text edit document I've created? So I was pretty much because we always sort of scatter our thoughts down somewhere during the movie, and I was doing it on the computer, and then while Tim was doing a technical setup, which was taking a little while, my mind was wandering, and I was looking at the document, and I thought, to make it easier for us, I'll try and arrange it into sort of an easy-to-use guide to what we should touch on during the podcast. And I've gone into some level of detail. I've used different font sizes. I've attached quotes from the internet. I've put a big picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger with the sun in a urinal.
You've ensured that the important bits are in bold.
Yeah. And so I've got that ready for us.
I think there's a hyperlink on here. So it just it looks like digital chicken scratch to me. It doesn't make any fucking sense. There's no like rhyme or reason.
Do you want me to?
It looks. I said this earlier, but it looks like the cave drawings of the retarded.
It is, honestly, it's actually really good. So go to the top.
It's just like, it's like, you know, in movies when they stumble into the really psycho dude's house and he's got newspaper clippings of everything. That's what this is.
Like
this level of fucking like, this dude's insane and gonna kill someone.
If you just give me and my cave drawing one shot, we're gonna do the best damn podcast you've ever experienced, bud.
Okay,
come on this journey with me.
Words on here as well, like. Oh, I guess they make sense. They don't seem to though.
No, this is why it's so good. Is because to anyone else, this document. To anyone else, bro, this is why it's so much. Is that you are the only other person who could possibly understand the contents of this document, and you've just lain it completely to waste in front of my very eyes. You're the only other person in the world who could possibly have understood what was going on here. And you just said, mate, this looks like you've picked up a piece of wood and just scratched it on the ground for a while.
Do you think that it would be possible for you to read it in the morning, kind of as a new person? Like from...
Probably not with the same confidence that I could read it now, but I'd say... I think you're going to enjoy it. So this bit here at the top right, we got a letter. So you told me
huge letters.
Yeah, because I can't remember it.
It's like there's a lot of small text around it. So when you kind of just glance at the page, you go, "We got a letter."
You're doing an Adam Sandler impersonation while reading that.
Anywho, we should go into the contents of it. I don't want to shoot the messenger if the messenger's got a dope message.
Well, they do. You told me about this message. I haven't actually read it. I copied and pasted it without looking at it.
Oh, from where?
We got it on Facebook from some guy.
Yes. Okay, I know what this is. Okay, great. Ooh, it took a long time to get to what this is. Okay, cool. So we got a message from one of our Facebook fans, which is cool. I don't want to call them Facebook fans. I want to say people who have liked our group on the Facebook. You might fucking hate us.
We can just call them friends or fans. We haven't really had this conversation.
Anyway.
You say friend of the podcast. That's the cool thing to say. Friend of the podcast.
It seems overly congenial.
I think
it's too much.
I think if anyone listens to this, then we could be their friends.
So a friend of the podcast wrote us,
and
I can't pronounce their name because there's a lot of what it looks to me to be Russian characters in it, possibly Korean. That could go either way, eh? That could be Korean. Maybe
I'm too ignorant on the matter to possibly guess.
It looks slightly Arabic. I'm not sure what language that name is.
It's not important. What is important are the contents of
I will read the letter, which arrived just a day or two ago. Oh, okay. I've been listening to your podcast for about a week now. Got through all the episodes fast. English is not my first language, and although it's been years since I started learning it, I've found it is sort of a bouquet of various accents, all understandable to me to various degrees, and yours is quite interesting. That's all one sentence, with some commas in there to let you break. And the next sentence goes, I've been getting used to the fucking hell, okay. I've been getting used to the New Zealand accent thanks to you guys now. I've lost the ability to read, bro. That's terrifying. Next sentence.
I can have a crack at reading.
What I'm trying to say is, not only is your podcast entertaining, it is also educational in many spheres of life. Who would have known Connecticut was a state, indeed? Not me, but I know that now. thanks to you. Loving your podcast. Keep up the good work. I hope this was the right place to message you.
That is such a lovely message. The idea that someone...
Unspeakably cool.
The fact that someone would use this to help them learn a language is frankly worrying and also really humbling.
Yeah, I'm touched and worried too on both of those things.
Thank you very much. And that explains the we got a letter big heading ahead lined up for you there, Tim.
Because it got me all misty.
All misty-eyed, Tim.
All misty. What else do you want to delve into on your chalkboard mentally insane?
I don't know. Do you want to do...
Dude, this is like a fucking magic eye. Like, you'd have to be very like squinty to see into this one, to see the real picture.
Well, what we could do, we'll upload the document to the Facebook page after the podcast, and you can have a lot of look inside. I haven't really reread it yet. It's pretty... It's pretty alright. I mean, it's going to look weird to you, but I can stand by it. I can, if I had to do a PowerPoint presentation with it tomorrow morning, I could explain everything in good conscience.
What do you want to do first, Steve? Steve Buscemi Mystery Tour or Patty Schwarz Party Time? What a great sentence to be able to say. Hey.
There's good options.
Hey Guy, what do you want to kick off with today? Do you want to start with the Steve Buscemi Mystery Tour, or would you rather get into it first off with Patty Schwarz Party Time?
That is so what an awesome option. If you wake up in the morning and someone walks into your bedroom and they go, "Good morning, how would you like to start your day? The Steve Buscemi Mystery Tour or the Patty Schwarz Party Time experience?"
I reckon that would be even better than that, because you'd be in a hotel and it's like when you scored some sweet deal on a holiday website. You and your mate are there, you got separate rooms because you got some great deal, and he like kicks the door into your room and bursts in. It's like, "Hey man, what do you want to start the day with? Steve Buscemi Mystery Tour, or do you want to hit Patty Schwarz Party Time?" Like, you're just like, "Oh fuck yeah,
let's fucking do it."
Let's get into it.
And then whatever you choose, that Steve Buscemi. Then if you say Steve Buscemi Mystery Tour, Steve Buscemi walks through the door and says, "Well, come on, let's go.
Let's do it. Let's hit it."
I would choose Patty Schwarz Party Time. Patty Schwarz shows up in a helicopter next to the hotel, throws a rock through your window, jumps through, scoops you up in his arms, jumps back into the helicopter, and flies you to a penthouse party in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's also a pretty cool option.
That'll do, pig. Okay.
So in saying that,
Steve Buscemi Mystery Tour is us trying to figure out what one of the characters in the film has had done to him in the first film, which, despite the fact that we've now seen Grown Ups 2 32 times, we haven't seen Grown Ups 1 ever, either of us. So something happened to Steve Buscemi's character in the first film, and we're trying to fill in the blanks. Now, here are our clues. It put him in a cast that strung his arms up in the touchdown formation for like a year and a half. And also he had, was it 40% feeling in his body?
Yeah, 40%.
For that amount of time?
40% feeling in his body.
So, Guy and I have tried to put our medical hats on and try and deduce what
That's
what
right.
could possibly have caused that kind of an injury.
And what did you posit? Just in
That
what were the
Chris
cliff
Rock-
notes last time?
Chris Rock tackled him directly from behind and caused quite significant nerve damage when he dislocated a vertebra.
That's not bad. It would be pretty aggressive for Chris Rock to do that, but I mean, medically, I think it sort of checks out.
Yeah, it's all there. It is all there.
Okay.
So that was last week.
So do I get to do a guess now?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a theory.
Yeah.
I'm just compiling this now in my mind, but I'm going to use some of my reference points here on the document, if you don't mind.
Yes.
So what happened is, because in this film, Grown Ups 2, four of the characters, the four main characters, they all have to jump off Suicide 35 at some point. They're made to by the frat boys. You know this.
You're familiar with this.
It's a 35 foot drop, and they all jump off it naked. And for guys who claim to have been jumping off this rock quite a lot, they have all got truly appalling jumping technique.
They're terrible diving form.
All of them are just really off the rails. Chris Rock, he goes down, he sort of takes a front on, like he almost belly flops, but he puts his limbs up in front of him to stop himself from doing that. If you're doing that on a 35-foot
like
drop,
if you dropped an infant and the infant didn't turn in any way, shape, or form before they hit the water,
if you do that over 30,
like or a dog, one of those.
But he certainly wasn't onto it. And then who jumps next? Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler goes with a wide-legged approach, which is insane. It's a 35-foot drop. He'd be lucky not to shatter a couple of shin bones with that sort of fucking laissez-faire attitude to those drops.
You will literally tear yourself a new asshole, son. You can't be diving off a 35-foot
Spade
like that.
proceeds to show reckless disregard for his tailbone as he lunges from the rock, hurtling towards the water at a rate of knots before landing squarely on his... Is this your coccyx?
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
And then Kevin James, still wearing his shoes for who knows what reason, towel around his neck, yells out "Mama." He also goes for an open-legged approach and lands on top of David Spade, which would break his neck and possibly damage Kevin James's pelvis. Anyway, so while these are all reckless jumps, they all seem to get away with it just fine, which is a miracle if you ask me. And I think that in the first movie, as evidenced by the technique in the second movie, Steve Buscemi's character Wiley probably had to jump off something high, and through whatever stupid fucking technique he used, because they're all morons, he fucking threw his body out in that specific way. Maybe Chris Rock gave him a fright. He hid behind a bush and he went boo, and then he went ah, and then that's the injury he got, and he just has always begrudged Chris Rock for that. And that is the Steve Buscemi mystery tour.
Buscemi mystery. I don't know how to fit all those syllables into that tune. What's the next thing?
Yeah, look at you coming around to the notepad.
Well, it's because I drifted, I'll admit, when you were talking just before. And then I was like, oh, we said some really interesting shit while the movie was playing.
Yeah.
And you would have captured some of them, which is why this just looks mental to me.
That's right. Would you want to do a Paddy Schwarz party time quickly?
Yeah.
So it goes, Paddy Schwarz, party time. Paddy Schwarz, party time. Party time. So you can host this one because you told me about this picture. You caught me onto it.
So it's, I think someone actually on the Facebook group page, whatever it is, our thing, they put me onto this, I think. Or someone tweeted me maybe. So it's a picture of Arnie, and the photo looks to be 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 20 years old.
No, I'd say
that would fit as well.
seeing as Paddy's, no, he's turning 21, so it would probably be like,
shit.
He probably looks like maybe 5, which would make it, what, like 15 years old.
So 15-year-old photo of Arnold Schwarzenegger at a urinal in a bar with his 2 sons. I feel like we've paid a lot of attention on how old the... Anywho.
It could, in fairness to Arnie, this could be about, it could just be some sort of other restroom. Like it could be a gym, a public swimming pool, like a YMCA. Could be a urinal in a mall. They could be at a sort of a fair or in a community hall. Probably not a church.
Churches would look like that if it was like a church school.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah. School could be at the kids' school.
Arnie is looking down, seemingly, at his son's. What do you say? Genitals?
You say his penis, mate.
That.
Yeah.
Penis.
Don't be afraid to say the word penis. a lot of us have them, Tim.
Penis.
Penis.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Anyway, so he's posted this photo. Arnie's posted this photo.
Arnie posted this photo, and what he said to his son was, "Happy birthday to a great son who has grown into a great man, Patrick Schwarzenegger. I'm so proud of you and love you. Hashtag TBT."
It stands for Throwback Thursday.
Oh, Throwback Thursday.
Yeah. And it's a very earnest and heartfelt message. It's a lovely message from Arnie
Arnie's a real nice guy.
And accordingly, I looked up Patrick Schwarzenegger's Twitter feed. And Paddy he looks like a cool guy. He looks like he's got a great life. He seems awesome. And so happy birthday, Paddy.
Happy birthday, Paddy.
Like he's like all these cool photos of him with his friends, just doing awesome stuff. I'm pretty sure he lives in LA. He must live in LA, of course he does. And it looks kick ass.
Do you want to be Paddy Schwarz?
I don't want to be Paddy Schwarz, but I'd hang out with him for a weekend for sure. They got all these dope parties. They're driving these cars around. He's doing all these modeling shoots for Tom Ford.
Shit.
This kid's 20. He just turned 21.
Jesus.
It's just like boom. And so like whenever I guess whenever he shows up at his friend's house, everyone's just hanging out. Usually on a Saturday night, like, oh man, this party's kind of okay, but it's missing something.
Well, and then Paddy Schwarz.
Yeah, and then Paddy Schwarz comes bursting through the door and he goes. He waits for them to say this, so he's sort of just hanging out.
He's
kind of hanging out.
I know where this is
outside the party, waiting for his entrance point.
And then
whenever the friends say, "Oh man, I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on it, but this party's missing something," he comes in and he goes, "It's Paddy Schwarz, party time! Hey, Paddy Schwarz, party time! It's party time with Paddy Schwarz, party time! Yeah!" I'm 21. Let's drink tequila in Las Vegas. I'm Paddy Schwarz. It's party time.
Yeah. Shit, yeah, man. Didn't see that coming.
Neither did I, man. Oh, man.
And okay, so I'm going to start reading the small print on your notebook now. The mother of Braden Higgins doesn't tell David Spade he has a child for 17 years. Holds on to the information until the Braden is on a train from Florida, then calls David to tell him. Yeah, I understand that.
The real point behind that, underpinning that thought, was that David Spade, following the logic of this movie, would have to have been told at some point his son's coming to visit, and he goes, "Yep, awesome," and just hung up the phone and didn't ask for any more details. So the phone call must have been like, "Hey David, you've got a son. It's going to be at the train station in a week." And he's like, "Okay, awesome." Boom, hangs up the phone.
This is because the reason why this has to be true is because the way that the movie has presented the evidence of what David Spade knows, there's no like room for confusion here. This is the only possible way that phone call happened.
Yeah,
because he knows that he's got a son, but absolutely nothing else. But he doesn't.
He's finding out
single other detail.
He's finding the information out as the audience are also finding the information out. He's going, "What? Who are you? Hiccups McGee?" And he's like, "What? Oh, I have a kid I don't know about with Hiccups McGee."
So Higgins had to like get this phone call out of the blue, ringing on his wall in his house. Picks it up. "Hey, you Braden Higgins?" "Yeah." "Oh, you've got a son." "Okay, that's cool." Walks out of the room. Just leave.
That's right. So he shows up. Yeah. It's just insane. It's insane. It's so reckless from David Spade. Like,
who would deal with that situation?
And his mum.
Who is dealing with that situation like that? You know.
Yeah. Well.
No bad.
Yeah, I am curious about that. So it's ludicrous. And so Braden, who's just the pawn in this weird game these two former lovers are playing, is told, "You're going on a train from Florida to Connecticut or wherever."
"Why's that? You meeting your dad?" "Okay."
"Me go." "Yeah, me go. No go. Stay." "You have to go." "Okay." "Me go. Summertime." And so he just gets on a train.
It's like what you were talking about before, man. No one else on Earth would understand what you were just fucking saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just throwing random words around. What you're saying right now resembles the Enigma code. And I am like that guy who cracked it.
We're a team.
We're a team.
Cheers. We just bump microphones. What else we got? I told you I'd do a real good
Yes.
Clint Eastwood impression.
You sure did.
While Tim was doing all the tech stuff before the before the podcast, I was just watching a clip of Dirty Harry, the "Do You Feel Lucky" punk speech. Because I've always wanted to be. I started wanting to say it to people, but I don't know the quote, so I had to watch the clip.
I want to paint you a picture, folks. As Guy's telling you that, preparing to do this performance for you, he's sipping his ice water, and at the moment he's wearing like a long sleeve skivvy, and he could not look like a bigger fuckwit C-grade actor preparing for some role that he doesn't really need, but he kind of wants. Let me.
So
Let me first say this.
Okay.
My throat is a little scratchy, so in the lower registers of Clint Eastwood's range, please bear that in mind. I may not be able to hit the note this evening,
okay.
but rest assured.
This is going to be completely underwhelming. I can barely remember watching the clip earlier. But I'm just going to do a really hammy Clint Eastwood, okay?
Cool, man.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself. But thing is, this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world. It will blow your head clean off. You can ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? Got a little bit Al Pacino at the end there, I thought.
There was not a bad effort at all, bro.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It was real good.
There were bits, I lost it a little bit, but there were moments when I was hitting them.
You know, that's pretty much time. I think.
Seriously?
It's been 20... Yeah. Yeah.
It's been 27 minutes.
About that.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think a little less.
Or should we ram in our shining lights?
Oh, God.
Get out of here. The document has dominated this fucking podcast. I'm sorry for that. Unless you've liked it.
Oh, God.
I think it's been pretty good fun.
Okay. Shining light.
Shining light. You had a very funny one.
Here's mine. So, let me set the scene for you all. Adam Sandler's daughter is at her school's ballet recital in the big town school hall, and it looks like it can fit 1,500 people, and it's pretty packed out. The parents are all there, and the kids are about to perform, and against the back wall are the cops and Higgins and
All of Adam's friends, all of the buddies.
if you look behind Peter Dante's head, who is the co-police person, next to Shaq.
Officer Dante.
Yeah. If you look above his head, there's a photo of like 6 kids and a woman figure who you're supposed to assume is like a mum or a teacher. Just above his head in shot.
What's the mise en scene of the photo?
It's arranged kind of like almost a poster for a musical. They're all in a V formation coming towards the camera.
So do you
from memory, it might not exist.
So, but do you think that the poster was like a poster for a school performance, maybe, or something like a?
I've got to rush through this, okay? So my shining, because there's something really important I need to get to.
Okay,
you cannot let me forget this.
Well, you've got to go for it.
Oh my god, this will change lives. But you have to give your shining light real quick. So
okay.
I'll finish mine. So that photo, I reckon, is the family of like an executive producer or something in the film. That's my theory. That really took me. That was my shining light. Go.
Okay, mine was Adam Sandler's line when he's like playing defender against his son kicking. He goes, "I'm a crazy linebacker, give me that football." And while running towards his son, it's probably just a funny little ad lib. I think it's genuinely a funny moment from Sandler in the movie. Full credit to the guy. I think he really nailed that one. And that was my shining light. Now do your important thing.
So do you remember a certain conversation that we had while the movie was on about people getting vaporized if they're exposed to moonlight outside of the ice cream parlor or a house?
Yes, I remember that very well. It's, I mean, it's quite a big concept to introduce on the back end of the podcast, but we're just going to go over time. We're just going to riff this one through.
Oh, we've got to wrap up.
No, we got to just get it out there.
I guess I can't just throw
while the momentum's there.
That made up that sentence and not explain it a bit.
We're sorry for going over time. If you have to pause this and go and do something else and come back and take the last 6 minutes later, that's okay. if you usually listen to it for a set amount of time, and then you have to start doing the task, like if it's exactly the amount of time it takes for your bus or your bike ride to work or whatever.
The tone of the movie changes when they're at the ice cream parlor at night. And I think that it's one of those movies where it becomes a completely different genre, but they've just done it so well that no one's kind of picked up on it.
Okay,
So
you're going to need to explain this further.
Bumpty's date with Charlotte
Yeah, at the ice cream parlor.
at the ice cream parlor. So it's
Things are going great.
yeah, they're going pretty well until a frog turns up.
Yeah, a freaky looking little frog.
It's so, for people who haven't seen the movie, it's so hard to tell what is coming out because we're a bit tired, if you know what I mean. Or if it's actually in the movie. Like if we're making it up or not.
The frog?
Yeah.
The frog's in the movie.
I know. But like
Well,
the stuff that we're saying is as ridiculous as the movie is, in a way. Like it's hard to discern.
Well, if you start looking for a line between what's more ridiculous between this podcast and the fact someone made this movie, Tim, things get pretty freaking crazy.
Whoa, that is a grey, blurry line. Oh, wow. You either die as a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, eh?
That's right. That's a Batman reference. Are we going to do this vaporizing thing? Let's do it.
So the tone of the movie changed.
So they're at the ice cream parlor.
And it's also where, what's the hot girl's name at school? Nancy Arbuckle turns up to get some ice creams off Greg Fader. And anyway, the tone really changed for me. Things started getting real dark, real bleak.
Yeah.
And it kind of started morphing into like a terror sci-fi kind of thing. So then I started thinking about it, and I arrived somehow at the conclusion that everyone, and just in this town where Grown Ups 2 is set in Connecticut, if you're out after sunset and you're not in like a property, like buy a house, or at the ice cream parlor only, if you're anywhere else that aren't those two locations, you get vaporized
by the moonlight.
The moonlight thing came later as I tried to kind of retrofit something on top of it.
Okay. Yeah.
The original idea was that the atmosphere just destroys them.
So people all over, just people in public spaces would just be vaporized.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tim, you proposed this to me, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that is insane. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
You did. You said that out loud many times.
Like several times to you, I said, you've lost it. And then we arrived at the party scene, and Selma Hayek was like telling Adam Sandler she was pregnant, and then the guests arrived, and she was like, our guests are here. And you, in like full earnest with doe eyes, were like, well, is he how they got there? Well, it's like, well, I don't know how that, what do you say? I don't know how that fucking happened. Do you remember that?
Yes.
What were your exact words?
I think I said, well, how the fuck did that happen? They would have been vaporized by the moonlight.
That's right. And when you said that in full earnest, I was like, oh, holy shit, he believes in this thing. And that is just amazing to me. And so then from there forth, I completely understood what you were going for and watched the movie with exactly the same perspective. And it is awesome.
We've got to wrap up the podcast, and I feel like we're on such thin ice doing this one after doing episode 29.
Prawn salad.
It's a famous ep.
Yeah. The other thing is,
he's referred back to the document, folks, just for those who can't see.
I was going to say, I had an idea for episode 33.
I know where this is going. Yes.
It's called the, I don't really know where this came from. And I don't think it's a very good idea, especially to say it out loud. And if this goes to see the light of day. No. Anyway, it's called the Bubble Bath Special. We watched the movie in a bubble bath.
But on stage.
Oh yeah, no, that was a different idea. That was if we wanted to do sort of a charity fundraiser. We'd do it on stage.
And but you said bubble bath either way though at the time.
Yeah. So it sounds insane now. I don't know, man. I said to end the podcast on a bum note, but I can't really throw my full conviction behind that idea. These are the ramblings of someone who is losing their grip.
Oh man, I feel like you've just Blair Witched the last bit of the podcast. A guy's gone absolutely insane and fully snapped, but we don't know whether it's a really clever construction or if we're being incredibly voyeuristic by watching the footage. Like you're gone, mate. You're out of here.
No, I'm like, I gotta say, you know, it's at the end of the day, you gotta look at the viewing. And I gotta say that's probably one of the more enjoyable viewings I've had recently. I really enjoyed watching the movie with you, Tim. I thought we had a good laugh. We came up with some pretty interesting ideas. That's how I feel about the project at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was a good night's work for us.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I like that. All right. We're over time by quite a lot. So bye.
See you later. Thank you for listening.